Hello, everybody. Welcome to, week 2. Okay, so I hope last week you got started off on a smooth start. If you didn't, if something happened and it's something I can help you with, please don't hesitate to reach out and let me know. If parking was the biggest problem you had last week, I am so sorry. There isn't anything I can do about that. So every August, parking is a nightmare for faculty, staff, and students. So that's one of those things that we just kind of have learned to deal with and move on. So I hope in January, the flip side of that is that in January, parking is a lot easier because there are, for whatever reason, students who don't come back in January. So when you start classes in January, I promise you, if you have a 4:30 class, parking will be much easier than it was last week. And that'll be true for every August and January that you're here with us. So I went in and I adjusted the syllabus. The first part of it, the due dates and stuff were not right. So I fixed that. So if you printed the syllabus, you might want to go back and just print the tentative schedule. You don't need to print all that other stuff that I have to have in there. Because, like I said, the first part, some of the dates were a little off. Starting in October, they were fine, but August, September, things weren't quite right, so I've got those fixed now. For those of you that are new to our program, I have created what I call a definitive dates. Those dates are like when things are due. So when you have something that's due as a discussion post or in Dropbox, there is a definitive time as to when something is due. For me, it will always be Sunday at 10 p.m. If you try to turn in something late, it will tell you no. We do not take things in an email format. I understand sometimes life can get messy. D2L could have a problem. You could have a problem. But to make it fair to everybody, you're going to get an I'm sorry out of me, but there are everybody else who got their stuff turned in on time. It's not fair to them for us to accept work that's late. So please do not wait to the last minute on Sunday to make your post. With that said, if you have already done your post, that is fine. Early is better than late any day in my book. Please feel free to post early anytime. You kind of know your schedule better than anybody else. I know it's hard doing graduate school on top of what you already had, a really full schedule. So actually, at times, I would almost recommend posting as early as you can, but sometimes reading some of the journal articles is going to take a little longer. Some weeks, like this week, it's not too bad. You're going to be able to kind of go in and kind of get the basic ideas and then hopefully be able to create your post. This week, there are 2 questions in the discussion post. No, sorry. For you guys, there's only 1 question. Boy, didn't you guys get lucky. If you have me for foundations, there's 2 questions. Sorry. Okay, so this week is about intellectual freedom. This is one of those cornerstones that we hang our hat on as far as school, as far all libraries, but school libraries included. Whoever your patrons are, no matter what age they are, according to ALA, they are entitled to have access to all information and to have that information be accurate information. And with that said, there are going to be books that you're going to collect. You may not agree with them, especially when you deal with topics more in the secondary, not so maybe so much in the elementary realm. But, you know, it is your job still to collect those books and to make sure that those books are accurate. And when several years ago, Tulsa Public Schools got 6th grade, got bumped out of middle school and pushed back into the elementary. So I had to collect books on things like the Holocaust, things it's not covered in 5th grade. So collecting books on the Holocaust was really, really hard. That's a really hard subject. And I am so sorry because you guys are going to be hearing, if you hear a ding, it has to do with my email, but I try to keep that down. So, okay. So, it's hard. Intellectual freedom, though, is one of those things that, a student needs to know that they can come to you and that you're going to give them honest and accurate information without judgment of any kind. So if it's not something that you personally feel comfortable with, then you need to find a library buddy that will help that child. And there are times that I've had probably a wide range of conversations and people requesting information. Also remember, at times the public library may not be accessible to individuals in your community. It may be too far away. It may be that library is actually smaller than your school library. There can be a number of reasons. Sometimes you will have parents come ask you questions, and you may not know the answer, and it may take you a while to find out, some information, accurate information. A lot of times in those situations, I kind of found a contact person and let them contact that person. But that, I know that you're thinking, on top of everything else, I get to do that. Yes, on top of everything else, you also get to do that. So it may not be the first thing you do every morning, but it will be. And you won't have those. I seriously doubt you'll have those conversations with people very often, but you might. So we try to prepare you for anything and everything that might happen once you guys are out there and in school library. So just keep that in mind. I think that's all for this week. If you didn't see the email, I did post how I want you to cite websites. There is no one way to cite an actual website according to APA. There are a bunch of different versions, so I just kind of picked one that I've used that my professors have been happy with. But if you have Terra, or if you go take the educational research class, you need to make sure you ask them how they want you to cite a website, assuming you're using a website in their classes, but you need to ask them, okay? For me, please use what I posted. Every time we use a website, that's how I want to see it, okay? All right, well, I guess that's all for this week. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. Take care, and I'll see you next week.